Hi, welcome to another episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. I'm your host Marek Mularczyk from sitetraining.co.uk, and I'm here outdoors taping episode 51 of Photoshop Lightroom TV. Yes, last week we had episode 50, so we've been filming for almost a year now. This is episode 51, the countryside episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. Thank you for watching, thank you for stopping by. I've got some exciting, amazing tutorials for you as usual. And I'm going to, first of all, I was giving out surprises last week in episode 50. So go to PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk and find out if you won. Okay, there was a book and there was a DVD as well. So have a look on PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk and find out if you won. I hope you won. Okay. Now, let's start with a tutorial on DNG, and I'm going to use Lightroom and Bridge. So I'm going to show you Bridge and Lightroom and a bit about DNG and importing images and converting them to DNG file formats. So let's jump into Lightroom and Bridge. Okay, today I'll be talking about importing images using Lightroom and Bridge and converting them to DNG file formats. Now, you may have heard about DNG, or you may have read it on my blog, PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk. DNG is the file format developed by Adobe, but it's open source. And when you import your raw images, you can convert to DNG. Now, one of the beauties of DNG is that you won't have to worry about support from the camera manufacturers, because if you shoot RAW now, you know that RAW is different for different companies, different brands, even for different camera models. For example, you may have an image, RAW image from Canon 10D and Canon 7D, and they'll have different RAW images. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm in Lightroom, and I'm going to try to import images, RAW images, and then convert them to DNG, and then I'll try to do the same in Adobe Bridge. Okay, so I'm here in Lightroom. I'm going to click Import. I've put my memory card into a card reader, okay, and the images should appear automatically. So they start appearing here. Okay, it says from EOS Digital, so that's the memory card from memory card reader. Okay, and the images are here. Okay, now on the top I can copy as DNG, so I can select copy as DNG, right? Maybe select some of the images. I'm not going to import all of them. Let's say I want to import these landscapes. Okay. These here from Brecon Beacons. Okay, these images here. Right. So I can copy as DNG to convert the images to DNG in a new location and add it to the catalog, of course. Then on the right hand side, you know the rest, when to import it. For example, I can import them into my pictures, rename at the same time, and change the structure so I can organize them by date, or I can just organize them all into one folder. That's what I usually do. Quick and easy. Okay, now let's jump into Bridge and let's see what we can do in Bridge. Oh, just one more thing. Lightroom will also eject the card after finished importing. Okay, I'm just going to cancel that. I'm going to close Lightroom and go into Bridge. So here I am inside of Bridge. This is Bridge CS5, but it applies to Bridge CS4 as well. And I'm going to import images from my camera or from the memory card by clicking on this icon here, get photos from camera. I'll click on it. The import dialog box is going to open in just a moment. Okay. Now if you see this simple photo downloader, click on advanced dialog, because this will show you the preview as well. Now the first thing you notice, the first difference between Lightroom and Bridge, is that the images don't appear automatically. Okay, so this is one of the big features within Lightroom. So I need to select my memory card from here, actually. And now it starts generating the previews. Okay. It starts from the other way around, so it starts from the newest images. So it's a different way of sorting images here in Bridge. Okay, right. Still loading some of them. Okay, so this is one thing in Bridge. So that's the size of the thumbnails. There's not much we can do here in terms of resizing them, unfortunately. Now if you want to convert the image to DNG, on the right hand side you check Convert to DNG. You may want to open Bridge or may not want to. Then you click on Settings, and you've got a couple of settings here, not too many. JPEG preview size, so sort of medium. Compression, you want to compress it or not, probably deselect it. And image conversion methods, embed original raw, probably not, okay, because this will create a larger DNG file, so I wouldn't embed the original raw image. Yeah, just press OK, and then you just import images here into Bridge. So there's a couple of differences between Bridge and Lightroom in terms of importing images and converting them to DNG file format. I find Lightroom way easier, faster, and Lightroom was created for photographers, so it's much better than Bridge in terms of importing and managing photographs as a photographer. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and let's get back to the studio. Okay, welcome back. Now, how do you like this episode? Do you like it? Being outdoors, slightly different from the usual setting. I thought, why not? Something different for a change, so you can enjoy nature. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Now I've got another tutorial for you, this time in Photoshop, and I'm going to show you how to create interesting lighting effects using one of the filters in Photoshop. Okay, so let's jump into Photoshop, and I will see you back in a few minutes. Okay, here I am inside Photoshop, and this will be a quick trick to use one of the lighting effects to create a reflection like a sun coming from behind this monument here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Now I'm working on the background layer. I'm not going to put anything on the separate layers. Then I'll do filter, render, and lens flare. Okay, lens flare gives you a couple of options here, so you can choose 4 different kinds of lenses, 50 to 300mm zoom, and there's a preview here. Unfortunately, there's no preview on the document. That's a 35mm prime, right, that's a 105mm prime, and a movie prime. In this case, I'm going to use 50 to 300mm. Then you can adjust the brightness to your liking. Right, so I'm going to use something about probably 120, 130%, and I'll just press OK. And here's the effect on this image here. Now let me show you another way of doing it. I'm just going to revert that back. So at the beginning, I'm going to unlock the background layer. So I'll double click on it to convert it to a regular layer. Next, I'm going to convert it to a smart object. So I'll choose filter, convert for smart filters. So it becomes smart object. And now we'll reapply the same filter. So filter, render, lens flare. Okay, the same settings, that's fine. Okay, it looks the same, but what happens now is this is a smart filter. So I can edit it anytime I want. I can double click on the name of the filter and re-edit it. Now how cool is that? This is one of the beauties of using smart filters and smart objects in Photoshop. You can change it at any time, and it updates automatically in here. It's a really great feature and very interesting effect in Photoshop. Thank you for watching. Okay, welcome back. This was the second tutorial in Photoshop. Did you like it? Let me know if you liked it. Go to PhotoshopLightroomTV.co.uk and send me a message, send me a post. Now, speaking of PhotoshopLightroomTV.co.uk, did you see the post about the history of Photoshop and some exciting moments in the history of Adobe Photoshop? If you didn't, go to PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk and have a look on it. The evolution of Photoshop. Alright, this week I'll have no tip for you, I'm afraid, but I'm definitely going to have a tip for you next week. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I do have a tip of the week for you, as usual. This week's tip of the week is in, let's see, in Photoshop. Did you know that JPEG files can have paths included in them? Yes, they do. And I'm going to show it to you next week on next week's episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. So I will see you next week on episode 52. Thank you for watching. I'm Marek Mularczyk from SciTraining.co.uk, one of the UK's leading specialists in Adobe Certified training. Thank you for watching this countrywide episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.